Good morning and welcome. Welcome to our first of 6 webcasts today on the new Cub Scout program that will be launching in June of this year. My name's Bob Scott. I'm the Cub Scout Experience Manager for the Boy Scouts of America. Before we get into the content, let's cover a couple of technical details. There's a chat function. It seems like over 1,000 of you are already engaged in the webcast. Please leave us your comments and questions. We sincerely want to hear from you. Also, if you have any technical difficulty, if you don't have sound or you don't have video on your end, chat on it. It'll be kind of hard to do if you don't have video, but you get the picture. If for any reason we totally lose the signal, hang with us. Don't do anything for a couple of minutes. Let us try to solve the problem on our end. If you, after 2 minutes you don't have a signal, back out of your browser and come back into the session. So for the last 4 years, I've been blessed to work with hundreds of volunteers around the country. It's truly been a humbling and awesome experience as the team has worked to understand what's great about Cub Scouts and how we can move that forward, while at the same time understanding how we can make the program more dynamic and relevant for today's kids and families, connect it more strongly to the mission and aims of the Boy Scouts of America, and make it simple for our leaders. Today we've got 3 awesome volunteers here to help us understand what's coming in June. We have Nancy Farrell out of the Denver Area Council, who is the leader of the group that crafted the new handbooks and the new leader materials. We have Ken King out of Three Fires Council, who is Nancy's co-chair and author of many of the adventures. And we have Linda Vaughn out of the Great Salt Lake Council, who is one of the significant contributors and authored many of the adventures that you'll hear about as we go forward. So without any further ado, Nancy, can you start us off?
Absolutely. So why change? We've been asked that question quite a bit. In fact, I asked that question myself. The Boy Scouts of America continually strives to provide the best possible program that it can for the youth and the families in America. And in order to do that, changes are needed. The changes that we'll discuss today originated when the National Council presented its strategic plan in 2010. Over 75 volunteers, supported by professionals who work for the Boy Scouts of America, formed a task force to review the program element of that plan. Their task? To analyze each of our programs in Scouting and determine if in fact they were dynamic and relevant for today's boy. They reached out to child development, educational and subject matter experts to gain a better understanding of what today's boy wants and needs. Our last significant change and advancement happened in the 1960s. I think we can all agree that the boy of 1960 is much different than the boy of today. With the help of our research and development department here at the National Office, through Voice of the Scout, online surveys, and focus groups, feedback was obtained from Cub Scouts, their families, and leaders in the current program. What a wealth of information that provided for us. Your likes, your dislikes, the need to remove passive requirements, and the desire for a more active and adventurous program. Our DEN leaders also shared that they wanted more in the DEN meeting plan. They wanted an all-encompassing guide that had all resources right at their fingertips and not have to go outside the guide for the DEN meeting. With the analysis and the feedback in hand, we knew that the Cub Scout program is fun and needs to remain fun. However, there was work to be done to bring it relevant for today's boy. That's when a team of dedicated Cub Scouters wrote the new curriculum for the handbooks and the DEN leader guides. They knew they were on track in the spring of 2003 when the pilot testing occurred, and the feedback was the boys loved the adventures and the DEN leaders found ease in the execution of the plans. These changes will ensure that Cub Scouting is positioned to grow and serve not only for today, but for future generations of youth and families. Ken, help us understand the program model.
Thanks a lot, Nancy. I appreciate that. Based on the information that was developed during the initial analysis that you described, we moved then into a process of establishing some design objectives for the experience. There were 4 main considerations that we used to put the program together. One was the desire to make it a less complex program. There were great things that had happened over time, but as more and more of them had been added, it became hard to focus on the core experience of Cub Scouting. So an effort to reduce complexity both for den leaders and for the advancement program for boys was one of the key issues we worked on. Nancy also mentioned the importance of making sure the program was fun and active. The number of advancement requirements that were focused on talking, discussing, those are important skills and important ideas were accomplished then, but we know that boys want a fun, engaging, and active program, and we made sure that during the design process, we really extended and accentuated the whole focus on adventure for boys. We also know that a den-based advancement model has served us very well in scouting for the last half-decade. So we've continued making use of that because it promotes advancement, it also encourages retention, and boys and families find it a better way to experience the Cub Scout experience. So in addition to those 3 points, there was also, we had to know where we were headed with the content we were developing. So 5 desired outcomes were established. Now, for those of you who've taken Cub Scout leader training in the past, you probably recognize 3 desired outcomes as character development, citizenship, and fitness. Those have served us well in scouting for decades and decades, and we still want to make sure that that's emphasized as one of these sets of outcomes for the Cub Scout program. To that, we added 2 more pieces. One is on leadership and life skills. Better than any youth development program in the country, better than any experience that boys can have in sports and such, leadership development is a key outcome of scouting, and we've elevated its importance and its value in the program by making that one of the program outcomes, not only for Cub Scouts, but also for Boy Scouts and for venturing. Finally, the outdoor program. Outdoor skills and awareness is the 5th of the desired outcomes. And what you'll see as we show some of the materials today is that the focus on the outdoor experience not only brings boys to the program, but it provides the vehicle that we use to accomplish our ends. So that's what we want to accomplish with scouting. And along the way, we've developed some materials that we use in our advancement program that's going to cover that. Nancy, what are some of the important things about advancement that you'd like to share?
Well, our advancement system has been simplified. No longer do we have to learn different structures for the different age groups that we serve. Just remember the number 7. 7 adventures must be completed at each rank to receive the rank badge. The word adventure was deliberately chosen. The definition is an exciting and engaging experience, and we know that's exactly what the boys will get with the adventures. The adventures now become the pathway to advancement and have immediate recognition with adventure loops and pens. Next, we see how the adventures break out. There are 6 defined adventures, one of which is a duty to God, primarily family-based adventure, and they have 1 elective of choice, completing the 7 for cloth badge. The adventures are written to be interdisciplinary. The 5 areas that Ken talked about are interwoven within the adventure. Let me give you an example of that. In the Webelos Walkabout, the adventure is primarily about hiking, so we're getting our physical fitness. While we're in the outdoors, the boys can have leadership roles that they can perform. We'll have a community service project which brings in our citizenship, and we'll reinforce the leave no trace principles and outdoor code, enhancing those outdoor skills. An adventure takes approximately 3 den meetings to complete, one of those specifically designed to be an outing. And again, the boys should be recognized immediately upon the completion of an adventure. As you'll notice on this slide, there's different structure for each rank. And as a boy ages, he has more choices. This helps set the stage for the freedom that they have on the variety of merit badges and choices in Boy Scouting. Our advancement system is pretty complex at the moment. We have 1 for tiger, 1 for wolf and bear, and a completely different one for the Webelos and Arrow of Light. That has been simplified to the adventure loop and the adventure pens. Now let's take a closer look at those. Notice our new tiger badge. With the removal of the word cub from the tiger program, our tiger needed to mature and has in the new badge. You'll also notice that for the rank required adventures, they're full color and the electives are monochromatic. Retaining the pens in the Webelos and Arrow of Light, the Webelos are now diamond-shaped and arrowhead-shaped for Arrow of Light, with the electives shared as an oval. And I have some great news to share with you all today. This just in, thanks to our national supply, the retail price on the devices. I know we've all been waiting to know what that will be. The Adventure belt loops come in at $1.39. That's a 50-cent reduction in our current belt loops. And the Adventure pins will require no increase and remain at $1.89. Isn't that great news? Linda, help us understand how we're going to help our youth transition into this new program.
Well, Nancy, we're all excited about starting the program right now. But as den leaders, we need to continue with the current program and deliver a quality program for our youth until May 31st. On June 1st, the new handbooks will be available and you'll be able to take care of the new Adventure program starting then. The Arrow of Light youth have an option next year. They may continue with the current program as outlined in their handbooks, or they may begin the new Adventure program that requires them to complete 4 defined adventures as well as 3 elective adventures. To satisfy those elective adventures, they have a few options. They may choose electives from the rank adventures. They may choose to do some of the activity pins from the Weeblo program. They might even decide that they would like to do some of the rank adventures from the new Weeblos program. With this exciting new adventure program taking place, it's possible that we'll have a lot of boys in the 5th grade wanting to join Cub Scouts. How do we deal with those boys who are earning their Arrow of Light rank? First off, the Bobcat badge is still required, and we have them earn that. But we don't require them to go back and earn the Weeblos rank in order to get the Arrow of Light rank. We encourage them to have fun with the boys and in the Arrow of Light adventures, and we want all of them to have enough fun that they want to move on and transition into the Boy Scouts. Ken, what else do we have at our disposal?
Well, this webcast, of course, is our main audience is Cubmasters, and we want to talk to you a little bit about some of the materials we have to support you in your role as a Cubmaster. Now, the advancement program that Nancy and Linda have talked about is of course an important way to deliver the program for boys, but we have good news for you is that you are also included in the program development. A new set of comprehensive PAC meeting plans are going to be released on April 1st. So look forward to that. They'll be released online for you to make use of as you plan your PAC meetings over the next 2 years. It's going to serve as an all-in-one resource. Everything you need to run a PAC meeting is going to be available in that. The themes are connected to the points of the Scout Oath and Law. The themes, of course, the themes are used to generate interest and fun, as they always have been in Cub Scouts. But in terms of the values, we use the Scout Oath and Law as our core ideas, and want to focus on that as one of our tools for meeting the ideals. The materials that are available for the Cubmaster, it's again, each month is connected to a point of the Scout Oath and Law. There's a complete PAC meeting plan. The PAC meeting plan has a before and after checklist to help you do the planning and preparation for it. And as you take a look at the content of it, again, you'll see that on the 1st of April, the 7 steps for a PAC meeting are the same things that you've used in the past. So it ranges from the gathering activity to make sure people are joining together and having fun, to a great and meaningful closing at the end. In between, opportunities for fun, for recognition, for advancement, and for adventure loop and adventure pin achievements, all are there for you to make use of as Cubmasters. So April 1st is the release date for those materials. The first set of sample themes, they range from and conservation to Super Cub, lots of things to make the PAC meeting a fun and great experience. The points of the Scout Law, they go with, again, all the 12 points, not in the same order that we use for when we recite it, but we make sure that we cover them all year in the program materials. Now, part of what we're looking at is how to begin the process of the annual program planning and the transition to that. Nancy, what are a few things you'd like to share?
Well, all of the fun of Cub Scouting is still there, and as you work on your annual PAC program planning conference, Be sure to plan the blue and gold banquets, Pinewood Derby, rain gutter regattas, Scout Sunday services, attending day camp and resident camp, because all that fun is still there, and make that part of your program. We'd also encourage you to work with the den leaders on knowing the adventures that they're going to be working on. Some of the requirements in the new program can be supported at PAC meetings. For example, the Grin and Barrett adventure in the Bear program requires that the Scouts work with younger Scouts, teaching them games. And a PAC meeting is the great opportunity to fulfill this requirement.
Oh, super. Thank you very much. Well, a few things that are, of course, available to you, Mr. and Mrs. Cubmaster, as you begin planning the annual program, is, of course, the new handbooks will be released, and here's a copy of the Tiger Handbook. These will be out and available by May 1st, so you can begin your program planning and development of materials using the brand new materials in hand. For den leaders, a lot of the content will be provided here. This is a sample of the den leader guide for the wolf dens. These are, again, critical programming tools for den leaders, but the content of the den meetings that also maps onto PAC meetings, not only is that indexed in the Cub leader materials, Cubmaster materials, but it's also in here. So we have great tools for you to use to lead a great experience for the boys in the PACs that you work with. So no stone has been left unturned without, that's a terrible metaphor. We are ready to go, and we want to make sure you have what you need to deliver a great experience.
Linda, share with us a little bit about the ongoing support that's available to our leaders.
Well, if you haven't yet been to the website, scouting.org, program updates, go there now and take a look at the resources that are available for you, including every rank advancement requirement listed. All of the new and current information will be posted on this website. So you don't need to worry about getting bad information on other blogs or other websites. Go to program updates. As you scroll down the page, you'll see some roundtable support. This is a great opportunity for you to attend your roundtables and to get the supplementary materials that are available. They will be posted on the last week of each month for the next 6 months for information for the next roundtable. They are currently revising the den leader trainings for each position so that you can get what you need to know to deliver the program for your unit. There will be a What's New program as well. So watch Program Updates page for that information. And for those of you that would love to have a week experience this summer learning and participating in some of those adventures, scroll down the page on the right-hand side and look at the information for the Philmont Training Center in Cimarron, New Mexico. It is a wonderful experience to be with other Cub Scouters and enjoy and share the fun and adventure that awaits all of us. Go to that page. Bob?
Linda, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
So we're going to take a brief pause here from presentation and handle some questions that you have posted on the chat line, and other questions that we know Scouters from around the country have asked over time. So to help me with that, I'm going to ask Nancy to come in. And Ken King is going to be our moderator for this session because he's been watching the chat function.
First question for you, Bob. When will the new requirements for the Cub Scout STEM NOVA program be released?
Okay, thanks. Yeah, the team that's responsible for the STEM program, specifically the STEM NOVA, is working right now to revise those requirements. Those requirements should be completed a little bit later in the year. We hope to have those released by April 1st.
Okay. Question for Nancy. Why are belt loops used for recognition?
Why are belt loops used for recognition? The boys absolutely love them. They perceive them as a high value, and they're easy to display and easy to award.
Thank you. Bob, will training be released to help current Cubmasters learn about the program?
Sure. Well, first off, I'd go back to the program updates page, scouting.org/program updates. On that page, you'll find a presentation similar to the one that we're presenting here today, frequently asked questions, the final requirements, and other aids to help you become familiar with the program. Beyond that, we are currently revising position-specific training for all roles. The result of that revision will be posted online and the in-person syllabus made available by the end of this quarter, the March 31st.
Nancy, will National be putting out types of training for Cub Council and district leadership to use for training Cub Scout leaders in the new program?
Great, thank you, Ken. That training is actually on program updates right now. There's a PowerPoint presentation that you're welcome to use. All the requirements are there, the FAQs, and we've just recently posted supplemental roundtable content to help support the rollout of the new program and onboard our leaders. So yes, the content is there and ready.
Bob, we've heard about the new Den Leader guides. What do Cubmasters get?
Oh, thanks, Ken. Sure. As you said earlier, I believe, the primary resource for Cubmasters will be the PAC meeting plans. We will, by April 1st, issue 2 years' worth of PAC meeting plans covering the program years 2015-16 and 2016-17. So that will allow you to make some decisions about shuffling themed PAC meetings between years if you choose to. However, we would encourage you to make sure that over the course of the year, you complete one PAC meeting themed to each of the points of the Scout Law if you're meeting 12 times per year.
Thank you. Nancy, will day camps this summer be planning activities from the old or from the new program?
Great question. Well, we would encourage you, you're already there. You should have already planned your day camps and continue with your current plan. Roll right ahead and have a great day camp. Now, if you would like to use the Sports and Academics program as part of your day camp,
That's right.
you can do so. The inventory should still be there. You have the curriculum and have a great camp.
Thank you. Bob, will a new shooting sports program replace the current academic and sports program?
Sure. Boys love to shoot, don't they? They'll shoot pretty much anything you let them. Yes, there will be a new shooting sports program. In the meantime, the academics and sports program is still there. And boys will shoot whether or not they are given bling to support it. The Shooting Sports Task Force and others are working on a new structure for a new Shooting Sports Awards for Cub Scouts. The information on that will be released through the National Camp School process in the fall of this year.
Okay. Nancy, when will the books be ready so we can plan our programs?
The books will be ready on May 1st in local Scout shops and also available as e-publications on Amazon.com, both in English and Spanish.
Sure, I might add, Nancy, that the information to do your annual planning is probably already available to you. The requirements are on the website. The information on frequently asked questions is on the website. And I would suggest you start your planning for next year now.
Okay. 2 more questions. Which of the current Den Leader resources will be retained and which ones will be retired?
Would you like to handle that, Nancy?
Absolutely. All of the resources that we currently have, the how-to book, the ceremonies book, the song book, the Cub Scout Leader book, the group meeting sparklers books will be retained. Some of those have been updated to align with the new adventure program, but they're all still there.
Thank you. Bob, what happened to Scouting's core values?
Scouting's core values are being integrated into the program via the Scout Oath and Law. Our mission calls us to instill the values of the Scout Oath and Law. The task force worked hard to understand how we could do that, and the answer was, let's begin learning the Scout Law at the earliest possible time in Scouting. Therefore, we've themed the PAC meetings to the Scout Law. There are also points in the boys' handbooks that we call character compass points that create opportunities for the boys to reflect on points of the Scout Law and for their den leaders to reinforce those points. That's all the questions we've got time to handle right now. As we start to wrap up, let me just make sure we've covered a few points. We may have mentioned them already, but I think we want to hit on them again. First, Cub Scouting remains a family-focused program. It always was and will continue to be so. It will continue to be focused on 7 to 10-year-olds. No change there. Despite what many may have heard in other resources, Bobcat still remains the first rank earned by any Cub Scout joining the program. There are no changes in the structure of DIN meetings or PAC meetings. You're familiar with the 7 steps of each of those. There are no changes other than we have changed the term business items in the DIN meeting steps to talk time, more friendly for our leaders and certainly more understandable for the boys. There's now one approach to advancement. As opposed to the many approaches that Nancy mentioned earlier, your magic number is 7. Complete 7 adventures and the boy is earned his badge of rank and can go on to experience the fantastic electives that have been designed. We've now unified Cub Scouting with Boy Scouts, venturing, varsity, and Sea Scouts under one Scout oath and law. There's only ever been one, there only ever will be one, and it's our job to help instill those values. And finally, the program is even more focused on the mission and aims than it has been in the past. So 2 key phrases. The program that's coming in June is simplified for leaders and more fun for boys. So what can you expect over the next few months? First, at the end of this quarter, we will be releasing revised position-specific training. It will be available both in an online format as well as in person for presentation. There will also be a supplemental What's New training targeting existing leaders, pretty much the same content that we're talking about here. And then finally, on a monthly schedule, we are releasing supplemental roundtable content to address the transition needs and content of the new program for roundtable presentation during the Cub Scout breakout. On April 1st of this month, as I mentioned already, we'll be releasing the PAC meeting plans for the first 2 program years of the new program. So look for those. They'll be posted on the program updates page and other relevant pages within scouting.org. On May 1st, the new handbooks, the new DIN leader guides, updated Cub Scout leader book, and all the other materials that support Cub Scouts advancement charts, posters for the oath and law, DIN code of conduct, and on will be available through your Scout shops in English and Spanish. I might note that the insignia for the adventure loops and pins will become available on June 1st, along with the official launch of the new program. So that's what we've got for you. Just a couple other points that I'd like to reinforce. Stay tuned to your roundtables. They're going to have the most current information in addition to the program updates page. Focus on your annual planning for 2015-16. All the information you need to do that is available on the program updates page. I think I've covered most of what we have here for you today, so I'd like to wrap it up. I'm a big West Wing fan, and in the final episode of the first season of that drama, the character President Bartlett was speaking to a group of college students at a Get Out the Vote drive. And he said at the end of his speech, the future is made by those who show up. So first I'd like to say thank you for showing up. Thank you for everything you do for Scouting. And thank you for everything you do for the youth of America.